Hello, Barefoot Faith listeners. I'm so glad you're joining me today. It's been a while since I have recorded a podcast episode, but I have a lot going on and a lot that I want to tell you about. So I'm going to utilize this platform to get the word out. If you are not in my Facebook group, or if you don't follow me on Instagram, or if you're not on my email list, you're listening to me here. Great. I'm happy that you're here, but I want to invite you to join my email list, my Facebook group, and join along with us as I'm hosting a 3-day challenge coming up February 17th. It is called Breaking the Silence and Hearing God's Voice so that you can receive the inner healing you desperately want. I'm so excited to host this challenge. I tried to host one a couple of months ago and it just did not work out. But I am well planned for this one and I am ready to move forward with it. It's only going to be 3 days long. It's not overwhelming. There is a workbook to go along with it. We're going to meet on live Zoom calls and just going to share with you how God has taught me to hear from the Holy Spirit, how I have learned to trust what I'm hearing from the Holy Spirit, how I've learned to move past the fear of getting it wrong, and how I've been able to target barriers in my life that are keeping me from hearing the Holy Spirit and keeping me from trusting and having faith and moving forward in what He's calling me to do. And so I want to share those keys with you in this 3-day challenge. So the link to sign up is going to be in the show notes. And I will also, I'll just share all the information that you need to join that 3-day challenge. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the podcast. All right, welcome. So today I wanted to talk about something that I actually just talked about with my business coach. She had me on her podcast just 2 or 3 days ago, and she wanted to help me promote the word about the challenge that you just heard about in the introduction. And so I was so thankful for that, but also to be able to just speak encouraging words about how much she has done for me and how she's helped me in moving forward with wanting to create this online mentorship, my Made Whole mentorship, which we are starting a new cohort, a group cohort coming March 4th. So if you know that you want to get in on that and you want to sign up for that, do that. Get on my email list. You'll know. I'll also put the link in the show notes so you can sign up for that if you're interested, and want to see what that's all about. But to get into what I want to talk about today, something she said to me that rolls over and applies to every area of life. Um, a couple of months ago, I was creating this course, and I have a couple of different, what I call mini courses housed. Well, even my main course is actually housed in a much worse type of platform um, for leading people through the courses. And that's one thing that's kept me stuck is like, I don't have a good central source to put all of these different courses and ideas that I have into one location to where it looks uniform and to where it's organized nicely, to where that if I were to go to it as a client, I would be able to keep track of it. It wouldn't be overwhelming. It would be in small bite-sized pieces, and I would be able to check off what I've gotten done and what I haven't gotten done, so that if I go a week or a month without um, working on it, I can come back and not have to remember where I need to pick up where I left off. And so I have it housed in a couple of different platforms that I didn't want to upgrade because I know I don't want to keep them there forever. So why would I want to pay for these platforms when I don't want to keep them there forever? And I wasn't pleased with what I was seeing on these different platforms. And so I said something about the money issue. I was like, not that we can't afford it, but it was just like, I feel like I'm throwing money away at something that I could be taking that money and investing it in something better and different. And she said, you know what, Cassie, you're going to have to start making decisions from a corporate mindset, as if you were already successful. If you already had the money and you didn't have to worry about these things, what decision would you make from that point of view? And I was like, man, that's a really good point of view to have, and something that really helped me to shift my perspective. And as we were talking on her podcast last week, um, she mentions it, but it was like, man, this is so good to even it should carry over into other areas of our life. For the woman who is walking through inner healing, or the woman who's making decisions in everyday life, the question is, are you making decisions from the woman that you want to be, from the woman that God has called you to be? Or are you making decisions from a place where you're at? Instead of removing yourself almost from the situation, removing yourself out of the pain, the brokenness, the bitterness, and start making decisions from the healed and whole and called woman that you are. Are you able to do that? And if you're not, what can you start doing today to help you start making decisions from that point of view, from that place of being healed? Can you see yourself and envision yourself as that healed woman? Can you see yourself and envision yourself as the successful woman? Can you see yourself and envision yourself as the wife that you want to be, as the mother you want to be? And can you start applying that today to help you make decisions today that will launch you, propel you to be that woman that you've seen yourself be, this woman, the healed woman, the complete woman, the successful woman 5 years from now? But can it propel you if you start making those decisions as that woman today? Can it actually propel you and get you there 2 years from now or 2.5 years from now? Can it speak simply by seeing yourself from that way? You might not be in that place today. You might still be frustrated. You might still be broken. You might still be grieving. And there is a time to allow yourself to be there and to grieve and to mourn. I definitely know I always want to share this because I was definitely a girl who, when I got into those broken places, tried to get out of it a lot quicker. But there is a place where you do need to rest in the brokenness, and you do need to rest in the grief, because sometimes it's so, so deep and so, so heavy that there's no way you can see yourself out of it. And there's no way you can actually still make a decision based on where you see yourself in 5 years from now. Because there is a time where, right, like it says it in Ecclesiastes, there's a time and a season for everything under the sun. And so there is a time for grief and there is a time for resting. But as you're coming out of it, and as you begin to say, okay, I don't want to stay stuck in this any longer, what can I do to start making decisions from that place of being healed, whole, and successful in the woman that God has called me to be? And so I encourage you with that today, and want to encourage you to take those action steps today to start applying those to your life and to your heart and to that mindset shift that you need to take to get there a lot faster. Because the one thing that the enemy wants from us is that we would never reach our destiny this side of heaven. But God is calling us to reach that destiny. And all of us want to reach that destiny, right? We think of destiny and we're like, yes, like that excites every single one of us. There's no way that it can't, because it's our calling and it's the blueprint and the design that God put within us. And so there's no way that that doesn't excite us. So, how can we start focusing on that, envisioning ourselves as that woman, and then making decisions from that place? Um, so I love you all. Let me know if that encouraged you today, and let me know what decisions you are making. Respond to me. My email is contact@cassiehutton.com. Or you can jump over into the Facebook group and share what success stories you're having, how you're able to shift that mindset and that perspective. Let's communicate over this. Let's be community and talk about these things. I love you all. Be blessed, and I'll see you on the next episode.